Michael Starr Hopkins is a Democratic strategist and the CEO of Northern Star Strategies, and Melik Abdul, a Republican strategist and radio host. Thank you both for being here as we continue to wait for this event to get underway. Michael, I'll start with you. Labor Day is often considered the unofficial mark of the last leg of the presidential race. So what do you think? The strategy of bringing Biden to campaign events will help Harris in this final push? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it does. We need to make sure as Democrats that we're turning out white, suburban, working class voters. But also, if you just look at the spectrum of Democrats right now, you've got Josh Shapiro, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris. You know, this shows not just the diversity of the party, but also the youth and strength and how moving forward, Democrats are really well positioned. And juxtapose that with Donald Trump, who's not on the campaign trail today, someone who has said that he's against the PRO Act, against raising the minimum wage, has really been anti-worker, anti-union, and stiffed his own workers. This is a real decision that voters get to make. And when you look at the campaign trail today, it becomes evident why Democrats are starting to move in the lead.
You know, Malik, Harris campaign chair Jen O'Malley-Dillon said in a memo yesterday that Democrats are the clear underdogs in this election with only 64 days to go. What do you think? Do you agree?
That's a great talking point, and I understand you're kind of underplaying yourself here. But obviously, Donald Trump in this case is the underdog. Kamala Harris is, for all intents and purposes, is the incumbent. So the idea that the incumbent would be the underdog, it's a great communication strategy, and I absolutely know why they're doing it. But Donald Trump is the underdog in that race. He was the underdog going into the June debate. He's the underdog going into this upcoming debate, and he'll be the underdog in November as well.
Well, that's interesting. Yeah, as we take a look at these numbers with that you see on your screen right now, with the 2024 presidential race, the national polling average still showing Kamala Harris 49.5% and the former President Donald Trump 45.4%. So as we take a look at that lead, what does Trump need to do to swing momentum his way right now?
I think Donald Trump needs to continue what he's been doing over these past few weeks, where he's been very disciplined and going after Kamala Harris, not just on her flip-flopping, but on the economic policies that she's proposing. Will Kamala Harris support the things that she supported in 2020? Will Kamala Harris be for extending the middle class and lower income tax cuts that are due to expire next year, those very tax cuts that Democrats have railed against, that they said was a gift to the rich? Donald Trump has to talk about abortion. He recently came out, said that he's supporting the government paying for IVF treatment. He has to talk about that. He has to really nail those things down, because that's what the voters are saying as the issues that are topmost for them.
And Michael, Harris and Walz sat down for that joint interview last week. We're still talking about it. She's been criticized for not granting a solo interview to the media. So do you think that she needs to do this to win the race? A lot of people just want to see her talk organically with somebody.
Yeah, I mean, she talks to voters every day. She has gaggles with the press. She did the ceremonial first interview with Tim Walz. I don't think voters care about kind of the ceremonial press stuff. What they really care about is which party is going to be supportive of them. And you've got Kamala Harris, someone who has consistently supported making sure that workers have fair wages, have made sure that middle-class Americans can afford insulin, can afford health care, have access to Medicare and Social Security. I think that's what voters really care about. And so, you know, as I was texting with some Republican former Trump people earlier this morning, they were saying it's a really unforced error for Trump to have not done anything on Labor Day. You know, this is someone who's constantly been criticized for his anti-worker stance. And so for him to not do an event at all on Labor Day is something that could really be reminiscent of Hillary Clinton in 2016 not going to Michigan or Wisconsin.
Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.